a YouTube test just one here. Look, I'm just going to do really sort of like a bit of a different video. Actually working on a sculpt of my son's dog that was put down because it had cancer, unfortunately. So that's a little bit of a project I'm working on now. But speaking of projects, I'd have to say, projects like small companies that work on a very niche market in the collecting world, I'd have to say the most interesting at the moment for me, a company called Super 7. You know, like Super 7 is like the coolest. They're working on stuff as like I remember as a kid wanting to play with certain specific figures, and which I didn't or couldn't play with. For instance, I'll give you the new Ultimate Conan the Barbarian. Now, like, this is a figure that I would have actually killed for as a child. Like back in the I would have to say late 70s, early 80s. I was right into the Conan, and all you could get was, actually, I've got my figure here. Is a toy that was probably equivalent to a Conan at that time, that was about as close as you could get to a muscly barbarian, and that was this figure here, which is my original toy that I played with. He's fallen apart, the elastic's gone on him. He is the original original Masters of the Universe He-Man. So he's wearing Man at Arms body armor as well. So that's all I've got left of that toy back then. But to have this, I'd have to say it's blown me mind away, really. I'm just going to actually quickly open it up without... I wasn't originally going to open it up. I wanted to keep it as a collector's piece, but, you know, without getting it out, you can't really make a firm alright. So we've got the one twisty, which is pretty cool. You can't give a firm I know, criticism of what the figure is truly like unless you have it actually in your hand. So what I like first experience now, I've realised that they put a protective plastic around the wire so it doesn't mark the figure. The figure to me seems coated. So we're going to paint. So, oh, it's very hard to get out. Wow. It's fixed in there big time. Wow. They didn't want this figure to move around at all. I'm going to edit this. Some elastic around the ankles. What the fuck's going on here? Rightio, I have the figure out, and just a first look at the what you get. You have a limited articulation in the, which I'll give you a close up of the head and crunching area, but other than that, you've got pretty good articulation in the legs and in the arms, with plenty of swivel going on as far as the arms are concerned, but very limited swivel as far as the legs are concerned. But as a toy, this is what Super 7 are sort of focusing on. They're sort of bringing in highly collectible detail to... I'll give you a close-up shortly with the this figurine. They're bringing in a lot of detail to the figure, but in a toy sense. So to me, this nostalgic field, or having this in your collection, is what I reckon is the buzz of having that in your collection. A Conan the Barbarian, seriously, as a child, this was the ultimate. This is like He-Man, which is very similar in size now, a little bit taller, with all the articulation and cost-worthy as far as adult collecting is concerned. So I think Super 7 are targeting the mature collector, but bringing back their the senses of what they ultimately wanted but didn't get. I think, for instance, Toxic Avenger, the comic version, this is like a Playmate figurine that was released as well, like similar to He-Man. So, but we never had a Conan the Barbarian, did we? So to have this in my hand, this is like the ultimate of ultimate. The joints, they seem to be really good, but like all collectibles, the less you handle them, the better and longer they last, and they keep. If you keep playing with it and overposing it and consistently wearing out the joints, what are you going to get? You're going to have a floppy mess. So this is I only pulled this out to show the viewers what it looks like, and I'm going to do a quick close-up now. Now that, to me, is brilliant. This is like the cover of a comic magazine, which they're showing you here. The first release Marvel comic, Conan the Barbarian, with the flying creatures in the background. Now, to have this figurine that simulates that, that is brilliant thinking from Super 7. So well done, Super 7. I'm really proud of to have this in my collection. And also, what they've done, they've included weathered sword and spear. So I prefer to have the non-weathered or bloodied sword or spear, but also would like to have, maybe in the future some metal pieces to go with these sort of toy line figures. But yeah, brilliant. I love this Conan the Barbarian, and so happy that Super 7 have decided to release this and get a license for it from whoever. I don't know, Disney use it, I don't know. So brilliant. And that, of course, comes with the non-yelling or screaming or action-posed face. This is just the plain Conan the Barbarian face. I love both of them. That will be going back in the box and staying in there. Okay, I've got the Toxic Avenger character out now, which I think it's probably not as stiff as the Conan the Barbarian. It seems to be a little bit of looser points, whereas Conan, he is pretty much, you can hold his body from his arm, whereas you try to do it with you don't have the stability in the so the joints in the Toxic are not as good as the joints in the Conan. So if I was going to have a choice of which one I'd like to have the stiffer joints, I would probably pick Conan anyway. So I'm not familiar with the Toxic Avenger comic figure, so but look, to me it looks great. you know, as far as I know, he was green and all that. So, and you get a lot of accessories with the figure, with the extra head, without the band on his head, and the flag, and you know, all the Playmate stuff that was released back then. You have, and a lot better detailed figure with the articulation in the points that weren't in the figure before, which is the elbows and the knees, and some swiveling, yeah, in the feet. So you have the articulation that you didn't have before in this figure. I would like to say that let's have a look at the packaging. These are lid tops for the Super 7 figures. Are brilliant. I love them. You know, keep doing that. I think the ultimate figures with this sort of these are sort of things you want to have displayed in the detail with the figures, whether they're in the box or outside the box. For instance, having the box with the displayed piece there and that one next to the box, perfect. That's just all you need really to have. Or you can have them outside the box, outside the packaging. Totally up to the individual, but definitely need to display the packaging with the figure, because they've put so much money and effort into the packaging. I think that's worthy of displaying as well, whereas a lot of people in collecting world destroy the packages and throw them out, and it means nothing to me. With Super 7 stuff, I definitely want to keep the packaging. Up and coming figures, like there's Ren and Stimpy. I love that cartoon. They'll be releasing. I'll just give you a quick look at the figures now. Then after that, what Super 7 have done now with Disney releases, they've released two figures I particularly like: the Fantasia Mickey Mouse, and also surprisingly the Pinocchio. You know, to Pinocchio, there's an up and coming movie. I think it's coming out very shortly. Okay, how many things do you see advertised for Pinocchio figurines? There's none. I was searching probably about 3 months ago for anything Pinocchio related. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. Then all of a sudden Super 7 comes out and releases the Pinocchio figure. I didn't even hesitate pushing the button. So keep it up, 7, and I'm really, really happy with your Ultimate Figures lines. I think you're going to do well. Can't wait to see what the future holds with these classic lines and old, I suppose you say, adult enthusiast lines. Who knows? They might make Planet of the Apes. They might make, who knows what they're going to make. But one thing for sure: Super 7 always do the unusual and different outside the rest. And look, at the moment, there's a lot going on. For instance,
look, I thought I recently released another video of a copy of a custom that was the Dracula, or Dracula Red. This was a copy from a custom designer of figures, and a Chinese company's coming on and mass produced it. Now, this is not the finish of it. There's like Hot Toy stuff which are licensing in Hong Kong. These companies are making these in Hong Kong, and there's other companies coming along and same figure, unlicensed, identical what they've made, and selling it for a cheaper price. So the competitive market for figure lines in general is huge. It's like a snowball effect, you know. And it spins me out to be, as a collector who collects figures, outside Super 7, which aren't being copied yet. Who knows, they might get copied as well under a different name or a different logo. We just got to work out, you know, as collectors, what we want to collect. Do we want to collect, or do we just randomly collect anything? Who knows? Super 7's definitely going to be one of my little niche figures that I think they focus on certain areas, like the Pinocchio, for instance. That it keeps my collecting juices flowing. So I'd like to support this team as far as what they produce in the ultimate sort of line of things, and hopefully as a company they keep pushing forward and producing good stuff like this, because I'm really impressed. Outside of that, you know, there's lots and lots in the 1/6 market to pick from. You can literally go, there's so many different company names on it. They're not licensed to produce these figures. They're really good quality, and the market's massive. So the future is going to be very interesting to see what's going to be made. I'd like to keep an open mind. For instance, like, well, I just recently purchased a Sideshow Star Wars and a Stormtrooper from Hot Toys. The Star Wars figurines were old releases. They were the Jawas, so I've got 2 of them from Sideshow coming. I have got a Bruce Lee 1/6 statue coming, which is a Game of Death figure. And then possibly we'll be getting Ren and Stimpy from Super 7. Also, I'd like to, just ending this video, I just wanted to show you, this is an old picture I made 40 or 38 years ago. Around about 15 I was, of Conan the Barbarian. So way before the movie was released. I think it was, so way before the movie was released. That's how much enthusiast I was with Conan the Barbarian, and with Super 7 making some more Conan the Barbarian figures. I can't wait to get them, because I've ordered all of them. And also we'll be getting a couple of other Conans from Mezco, and I can't remember the Chronicles 1/6 figure. I think that's Chronicles. I can't remember. It's a 1/6 Conan the Barbarian from the Arnold, Schwarzenegger Conan the Barbarian. So I can't wait to get him. He was very expensive actually. He was about 250 US. So hopefully it's good quality, and I can't wait to get that. So that's hope you enjoyed my video. It's just a bit of a general talk about collecting and what I've got, and also I'd like to, just on finishing this video, would like to show you my statue I just done of the Conan the Barbarian as well. So big fan of Conan, and yeah, thank you Super 7 for making Conan the Barbarian. Test just went out. Yeah, I made this, this is no relation to any sort of comic or anything. It's just a random figure that I made. I made it with the aluminium blade. There is lots of fur and stuff on it. So yeah, lots of monsters. I think there's about
How many monsters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 monsters all up. Had fun making it. That's it. Catch ya.